Hello, everybody. I just felt inspired to come on here, do this quick little live. So welcome. If you don't know who I am, I'm Brianna, and I help teen girls and young women end the vicious cycle of their mental health challenges so that they can rise above them and truly start loving themselves from the inside out. I do that every day, all day long, and I just got off of a fantastic group session with some of my clients. And I want to talk about something that we were doing, and it really comes down to their self-talk, right? We were really getting into what do these girls want for themselves? Like, what do you want to create? What do you want to have? What do you want to experience? What do you want to do? What do you want to become more of? So I had them create that. And then I said, okay, now what does your yeah, but say? The yeah, but is that critical voice in their head, also known as ego, that likes to tear them down, that likes to self-sabotage, that likes to keep them in this like small version of themselves that they don't want to be, right? And so the ego will try to keep them stuck in what is familiar, safe, and comfortable, but that's not actually where they're going to grow, right? And so it was really interesting. I want to like read a few of what the girls wrote as far as like what they want, and then also what does the inner voice say, what does their ego say to them? So one of the girls said, I want to be myself and have an amazing school year. And she said, yeah, but you can't because they will judge you and it will suck. And actually quite a few of the girls said something similar as far as, you know, what if people judge me? What if they don't like me? That's a really, really big theme, especially with girls who are in middle school and high school. They care so much about what other people think about them. It's like it consumes them, and that creates so much anxiety. It can create so much depression. It can create so much of all of that. And so what I was explaining to them, and I'll explain it to you too as well, it's like they think that things are going to continue happening the way that they've happened in their lives. So let's say if they've been bullied, let's say if, you know, there's been a lot of mean kids at school that have judged them and said horrible things about them, they just think it's going to keep on happening, right? And how I explained it to my clients is like, you're going to be continuing to bring up the past and live from the past because you think it's still going to keep happening over and over and over again, right? What if you can create a new reality? What if you can say that doesn't have to be my truth anymore? What if you can say that actually something different is going to happen? Because what happens for so many girls is they keep focusing on what they don't want to happen, and then more of what they don't want to happen keeps happening because they're creating it, because what we focus on grows and expands. So if they think that people are going to judge them and people are going to bully them and people are going to be rotten and mean, if they keep focusing on that and every single day they say, I know it's going to happen, I know it's going to happen, I know it's going to happen, sure it's going to happen. Well, of course it's going to happen. That is how powerful your daughter's beliefs are. That's how powerful your daughter is. She is a powerful manifester. She is creating her life, and so much of it happens based on her beliefs. So if she thinks that people are just going to continue to judge her, and if that's what she's focusing on day after day after day, what do we think is going to happen? So that's the first part. So she has to learn how to shift that. The second part is, what are you going to do about it? If people judge her, if people don't like her, if people say mean things about her behind her back, so what? Right? So what? So when girls are struggling with their self-esteem and they don't know who they are, right? They don't know their worth. They don't know their value. They don't know how important and, beautiful they are inside and out. When they struggle with that, then of course, anything that someone says to them, whether it's mean or nasty or a bully remark or whatever, it hits them really hard and it feels like a personal attack because they don't have enough self-worth inside of them to be able to sort of kind of like fight off those, what the naysayers say, right? Or what the judgmental people say. And so it feels like a personal attack. And this goes for anyone who struggles with their self-esteem. It's going to feel like, oh, oh my God, this person said this about me. Oh my God, I was watching like a reality show last night and I saw a grown woman who is like, I don't know, she's probably like in her 40s. And she was having like a little temper tantrum because somebody said something to her and she was like, but I'm not this way. And oh my God, how can you say this about me? And oh my God. And I'm just like watching it and I'm like, oh my God, like get out of your ego and into your heart, right? We take things so personally. Like, what does it even matter? What does it matter what other people think about us? What other people say about us? But it matters so much to people who don't really know who they are. It matters so much to people who haven't really learned how to practice the art of not attaching ourselves to what other people say. It's like, I can say to myself, if somebody says something nasty or mean to me, I get to say, not my truth. Wow, they're really troubled that they're projecting all of that on me. And I don't have to take that in. And I don't have to believe that. I know who I am. At the core of my being, I know who I am. So this is what I am helping these girls to see. But like, if they don't know who they are, then of course, some judgmental girl at school or boy at school, is going to say a lot of mean things to them. And they're going to take it in and they're going to believe it. And they're going to be like, oh my God, but so-and-so said this about me and so-and-so said that about me. Like, it's going to happen. It's not just about developing thick skin. I know that's kind of like what we say, like, oh my God, my daughter needs to develop thick skin. It goes beyond just that, right? It's really your daughter needs to learn who she is at the core of her being. When she knows who she is, when she knows I am powerful, I am strong, I am worthy, I am enough. Like, when she knows this is who I am, then somebody can say whatever they want. It doesn't faze her, right? But when someone doesn't know their worth, when someone doesn't know their value, when someone doesn't have a high self-esteem, they go right down the loophole. They spiral down when someone says something that's mean to them, when someone says something that is not so kind. They go right down with it, right? So there is an art here that we all need to practice, but your daughters may also need to practice this. And this is how to learn how to not take what other people say as our truth, right? I choose what I want to believe about myself. I choose what my heart and what my soul says to me, right? If I believe I'm beautiful, that's all that matters, right? So many of these girls, like, they go to school and people say horrible things to them. Like, you're ugly, you're fat, you're this, you're that. And especially when it's around our looks, it's like, oh, it's like a punch in the gut when someone says something about our looks, because that's the thing that it kills us inside, right? And then for your daughter, if your daughter's in middle school or high school or college and somebody says something about the way that she looks, like, oh my God, right? And so we have to know who we are. We have to know that we are beautiful. We have to know that, like, I am beautiful just the way I am. And this takes practice, right? This takes some time to really embody that I am beautiful just as I am. And yes, like, we don't have to fit into the mold of like the Barbie dolls in the world, you know? But this is a practice, and sometimes we're great at it and sometimes we suck at it. But we just got to keep on practicing, right? So I think so many of my clients, they rely so much on what these other people are like saying about them, and whether they're bullied or whether they're being judged at school, and they don't want to feel that way and they don't want people to judge them. And sometimes, yes, we don't want to go into the next school year. Like, we don't want your daughters going into the next school year saying, oh, but people are going to judge me and people are going to bully me. Like, don't go into that school year feeling that way. But the second part is knowing who you are. And when your daughter knows who she is, then the naysayers and the bullies and the judgmental kids at school, it doesn't faze her because she knows her truth. This is a practice, right? Your daughter raising her self-esteem so high so that someone that she dates that doesn't treat her well, she could say, goodbye. This is not for me. someone that she's friends with that treats her like garbage, she could say, not for me, right? The bullies at school who try to say mean things to her, I don't have to believe this. I'm going to stand in my truth of who I am. What they're saying is not my truth. I don't stand in that. I'm going to stand in who I am. But a girl can't do this if she thinks very if she thinks very low of herself. If she has horrible self-esteem, she doesn't know how to do any of this. So someone's going to judge her, someone's going to bully her, and her whole life will go like down the drain, basically. Because she's making that happen, right? Based on what other people are saying and what she's making that mean, right? So again, people can say whatever they're going to say. And what is your daughter making that mean about herself? Again, someone who has high self-esteem doesn't faze them. Or maybe it will for a second. And then they're just like, okay, not my truth. When someone who doesn't know who they are and struggles with their self-esteem, it really impacts them in a tremendous way. So anyways, if you have not checked out my masterclass before, I'll leave that below. It's called Healing the New Medicine for Anxiety and Depression. Go ahead and check that out. And if you resonate with the work that I'm doing in the world and it's time for your daughter to heal and to love herself, definitely book a call with my team. Okay, gotta go. Sending you lots of love. Bye, everyone. Oh, if you're watching this live, let me know you're watching it live. If you're watching the replay, let me know you're watching by commenting below replay. Okay, now I'm really gonna go. Bye, guys.